All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to our, well, it's kind of like a test run of what I would like to call for I want to do like a panel style show, and I was thinking of calling it Schlender 5 o'clock somewhere for, I don't know, obvious reasons. My leader of high life. I'm joined by, of course, Casey. You may remember him from the RPG videos, and my buddy Plummer, who you can see on pretty much every other video on the channel.
You can call me Alex.
So, we're here to discuss kind of the year in review. Things we liked, things we didn't like. And I figure we'll start off with, why not movies? We're all kind of big into movies. So we'll bounce it off to Casey. Casey, how about year in review movies? What did you like? What didn't you like?
So for this, I'm gonna keep it kind of brief and to the point. It was a very small year of me actually going to the movies to see anything in the theaters, but I did go see a few of the key movies that dropped this year. Like I did go see Barbie, I did go see Oppenheimer. There's a few others in between there, but they were all pretty good. There's a few that I definitely dodged a bullet on, which I'm really excited about, that I did not go to see. But the one that I have to say I'm actually like the most like stoked on for this year, that I was really amped about, and I thought it really delivered for a sequel is Meg 2. It was just it was delightful. Like it was.
That's all the time we have for the show. Good night, everybody.
I don't think you could have. I absolutely loved Meg 2. I thought it was one of the best sequels that you could ask for a just like terrible movie, for a terrible follow-up. Now, don't get me wrong, when I say how much I love this movie, I loved it because of how bad it was. And you can tell that they didn't take themselves that seriously. They just had straight up fun with the movie. They didn't care. They're like, this is just the story we're going to tell. But
oh, God.
Here's why I really wanted to give Meg 2 a little bit of credit. It actually followed up on the first movie. Like, it didn't really give us like a bullshit sequel. It didn't kind of just like jump in there and do anything like too wild or like outlandish. It was actually like, well, we have this theory, we're gonna go deeper, we're gonna go underneath here, we're gonna see what we're gonna find, and then oh my god, oh, this is the biggest Meg anyone's ever seen. Yeah, no shit. But I know it's a terrible movie, but that's why I love it. And the movie I got I'm really happy I did not pay to go see in the theaters. This movie was so disappointing. I had such high hopes for it, and it just crushed everything. I think you'll remember, Derek. I was even messaging you like, "What is this? Why? Why are they doing this?" The Flash.
Oh.
Oh, the Flash was. I really didn't like it. I thought there was a lot they could have done better. Don't get me wrong, I thought there were strong points. I thought there were very key moments and strong points with it. But it did not feel like it. To me, it did not feel like a Flash movie. It didn't. It did not land for me in the slightest. I thought it could have been any other thing. Maybe like a multiverse Justice League movie would have been even cooler concept of bringing everyone together for that and like just slamming to that. But I really feel like focusing on the Flash pulled away from the potential of what it could have been. I didn't like it. I thought the writing was corny. The CGI was some of the worst CGI I can. It was the babies, the micro. That whole intro scene, what was that?
Awesome.
Yeah, and if so, it's kind of.
He has to eat a microwave burrito or something.
Yeah, California cheeseburger.
No.
But the beginning of the movie is how you know it's a joke. Like that's how you know not to take anything seriously, because it's just goofy and over the top.
And it had Dommy Mommy in it.
God.
Get him out of here.
But it's funny because Plummer and I have it's not quite, it's, I guess you could call it a hot take. We kind of liked The Flash though, because especially, speaking for myself, and it's something we mentioned in our review, I felt like I was just watching a cartoon movie. Like I don't take superhero stuff very seriously in terms of movies. They've been entertaining and now they're not really entertaining anymore. And I was curious of it because of all the production trouble, all of the Ezra Miller legal trouble, the fact that it's had like 5 or 6 directors or however many it went through. So I knew this thing was going to be stitched together. I wasn't expecting even a little bit of coherency. And to my surprise, the movie not only was a lot more coherent than I was expecting, it had a few genuinely good moments in it. I would say, like, I loved the end where he gets to say goodbye to his mom. I thought, it's cheese.
That was well done.
It's cheese, but it's well done. It's like,
yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I just, like I said, I don't really care for superhero stuff in general. So in order to come out of that and be like, you know what, not as bad as I had feared.
I think part of it might be because we saw it in the theaters, Derek, but I agree. Like, I had such low expectations that watching it in the theater, total popcorn movie. Like it was dumb, but it was kind of fun. And seeing Michael Keaton again was awesome. I loved that part.
That was
it
pretty
totally
cool.
pandered to me, and and sometimes that's what I want.
That's fair.
But honestly, as to Meg
the
2,
Michael Keaton thing, I did like that. That was a nice surprise seeing him come back for Batman. I got it. That was fun. Now, what were you going to say about how much you also loved Meg 2?
Meg 2 I watched with Maynard, and we were laughing hysterically the whole time because I learned a very valuable survival skill. If I'm ever miles upon miles underwater and I need to go for a quick ocean walk, I'll just, clear my sinuses. Or like, what did he said he had to clear sinus, and then he also temporarily drowns himself or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like, what was your plan?
No biggie.
What was your plan to like flood your body cavities with water? How are you going to get the water out? Like, what was your plan once you got to the other side? Just like hope you don't drown. Like, it was so stupid.
Cast Expelliarmus on all the water in you.
Yeah, no, all the water? Oh no. That would not go well. Oh my god. Well, Casey, those are quite the hot takes. Plummer, you and I actually saw a lot more movies this year than I was expecting. Any standouts for you?
Well, I just want to say, as much as I was shitting on Meg 2, I enjoyed watching it.
Oh yeah,
dinosaurs on the island.
I loved it. Yeah.
Like, once it got to that point, I was like, this is fun. At the beginning, I was kind of like, well, what the hell? And then I thoroughly enjoyed it. Because I was like, okay, I understand. I got her to go away. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. That was pretty funny. So if we're just going like best movie, worst movie that we saw,
you can throw in a few, just like if you have a couple that stood out for you.
Well, this wasn't a bad year, right? It had Guardians 3, which I'm not going to talk about for very long, but I just want to say it felt like an appropriate kind of like ending for Marvel for me. I don't think Marvel's ever going to pick up.
That's a good point.
Where a point that I care about it again, but I cared about Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
Right. That's a fair point.
Another superhero movie that I really care, Spider-Verse.
That was.
I'm so glad that
I haven't seen it.
That my friend accidentally spoiled it for me. Spoiled a little bit for me, in that it's part 1 of 2.
Oh yeah.
Because if I'd been getting toward the end and I'd been like, when are they gonna wrap this up? I'd be annoyed. Like that happened to me with Dune. We're like 30 minutes from the end, and I'm having a problem here because only half the book has happened. If the same had happened for Spider-Verse with me, I would have been very disappointed. But no, my 2 biggest disappointments this year were Five Nights at Freddy, and 65.
Oh, I forgot about 65.
What movie is 65?
Adam Driver fights dinosaurs. Well, not really, because there are no dinosaurs in the movie.
Oh.
No, I started it, but I shut it off within like the first 15 minutes. I couldn't. It was so bad.
It was
the
biggest piece of shit I've not ever seen.
Right.
But like, oh my god, I saw some bad movies this year, but none of them had $300 million budgets.
I didn't go to any of the $300 million. Well, The Flash, but like
$300 million ago, Adam Driver fights dinosaurs on. Now here's the thing: prehistoric Earth. But
I know.
Wait, there were no dinosaurs though.
There were dinosaurs.
I'm joking because there's not a lot. There aren't that many.
Yeah, there's not.
Oh gosh, no.
But it's just like here comes, and it happens to be. So he's a human in space doing a long haul cryo sleep thing, and then they get hit by an uncharted asteroid storm, which turns out to be the asteroid storm that killed the dinosaurs. And it's just him and this little girl who he can't communicate with having. And here's the thing. They're 14 clicks away from the escape pod. They have to go like 10 miles. They have to take a leisurely walk over 3 hours to get there, but it's like 2 fucking days. There's dinosaurs everywhere. It's no, not even everywhere.
No, not even everywhere. Well, Plummer, you're familiar with having difficult terrain. They can only move at half speed.
That's true. Everything is difficult terrain.
Oh jeez. Oh my god. Oh wait. I'm sorry. Can we just back up for a minute? Because I'm very confused.
There are no pancakes coming in the mail.
God, all right, I'm out. This session's canceled. I signed up for more than this.
Casey,
there's a beer in my beard.
As I say, it went belly up the moment you said movie of the year was Meg 2. It's like you just shot yourself in the foot with a credibility gun. No. Oh man.
No, but I'm sorry. I have to ask a quick question because now I'm even more confused, having not even finished the movie, having been so bored with it. So they get smacked by the so
yeah, it's the same asteroids.
From Earth and landeth at Earth.
No,
it's like an asteroid storm where you know
they're not Earthlings.
Never seen Armageddon?
So wait, they're not from Earth. They're aliens.
The cities on Earth repeatedly.
They're aliens.
So they're aliens traveling through space, and they get taken down in the asteroid storm that kills the dinosaurs.
Yes.
Because it's unexpected. They're like, we didn't know this asteroid storm was gonna have your motherfucking ships that travel. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, they should know. And then also, like, what luck they landed on a planet, the one planet that could sustain life. You know, like it would have been. I don't know. Yeah,
that's weird.
Dad,
that's
I watched that one with Dad, and we were like, what?
I mean, the problem is, like, you say, oh, we're going to be on prehistoric Earth, there's going to be dinosaurs and shit, Adam Driver's in it. Okay.
Yeah, it's easy sell.
Yeah. And then there's a girl that doesn't speak English, or space English, I don't know. And there's dinosaurs that aren't menacing.
English.
There's dinosaurs that aren't menacing, and they're just, like, walking around.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Adam Driver's, the main character plot of him is that he's really sad his daughter died.
And then, yeah, that movie was, God, that was terrible. I forgot all about that, honestly.
That's terrible.
If you spent $100 million and made that movie, I would watch it and then I would forget it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I will never forget that.
Kind of piggybacking off what Plummer said for like worst movie. Five Nights at Freddy's for me is probably also, I would consider probably the worst movie. I don't understand the movie very well at all, but I guess it's like pretty faithful to the games, which makes me want to stay far away from the games. So, and I also sort of hate it because then every kid at school was running around yelling FNAF, and I lived through years of that, and it came back, and much like PTSD, it's like just shook me. And so I didn't care for that. Like, I didn't care for Barbie much either, but I understood it was made for an audience and I can understand it. Five Nights at Freddy's, I was like, I'm not enjoying this like at all.
I'm gonna have to watch
Freddy's
that one.
Had this problem where the main character was extraordinarily unlikable. The second main character was entirely enigmatic the whole movie. You're like, what is her purpose? And then there's contrived drama with a little child that he should never have had custody of.
No.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, so there's this guy, and he's like a security guard who keeps losing his job because he constantly falls asleep all the time. And half of the movie is in this one dream sequence where kids are running away from him. And like when the evil robots are on stage, it's pretty cool. Except when they're not evil robots and they're just like, let's hang out with this kid. And it's like, come
Yeah,
on,
it's true.
you're supposed to be killing the security guard. Like that's the point of the game. Is like you murder everyone who's
Yep.
trapped in there, and that's why they actually need security. And instead, it's just like, oh, he's at work and he fell asleep.
Yep. And then it's like the worst plot twist in history. It's like, I wonder who the bad guy is. It's like, is it Matthew Lillard? He's the only other character you've introduced. Like,
You introduced in the beginning, and he's the only
Yeah.
actor you know.
yeah, he's yeah. My mom's
That's really funny because that whole thing was explained to me earlier this year. Because back when the first game had come out, I had actually bought it, and my roommates and then I at the time it was around Halloween, I believe, when it had come out. It was back in like 2014, maybe 2015-ish. But we had played through and we're like, oh, this is kind of, the game itself was kind of fun and like really kind of confusing and everything. But I never connected all the dots on the lore. And then this year, back in January, we were down in New Orleans for a vacation with some friends really quick. And we were sitting there and we were having dinner. And my friend's explaining the entire story of 5. And I'm just like,
yeah.
what the fuck? Like, none of this makes sense. Like, the souls of children are trapped in the machine. What the
That
serial
part makes
killers?
sense.
Yeah, I actually have no problem.
Like,
I have no problem with children's souls being stuck in robots. I
And
kind
the
of
children being so upset and like confused
Yeah.
at being stuck in a robot that they're murderous now.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. I am not
but
okay with
everything else was just like
it being
what the fuck?
fiercely boring though. The movie is boring. It is
Seriously.
fiercely
That's
boring.
a shame. That's a shame.
But as for for my best movie of the year, I was looking, I really am like, oh, God, like nothing really stands out to me in terms of like something I'm like, holy crow, this is like the highest quality one. I will say I was probably more impressed with Godzilla -1. I had also low expectations for that, and for it to actually be quite a good movie and very human, and for me to be rooting for humans in a monster movie, especially a Godzilla movie, I found to be very impressive. Now, granted, it just apes on Jaws for a large chunk of the film, but that's fine because I love Jaws, and they do a very good, like, it's very good. No, there's a whole Jaws sequence essentially, and it's fantastic, and I love it. The other movie that is kind of stuck with me since I watched it was The Killer, and with Michael Fassbender. And I thought that was a lot better than I was expecting. So I enjoyed that. Recently, Plummer and I just watched Talk to Me. And I was really impressed with Talk to Me because at one point I actually said to him, I'm like, I don't know quite where they're going to go with this. Because I kept expecting really cheesy, cliched. Remember, because the whole time, because it's about that hand. And the whole time I was like, I bet the mom was investigating the other hand. Nope. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So,
yes.
So I think... I mean, like, I did love Guardians 3, but in terms of, like, will I remember this year cinema-wise compared to, like, other years? No, I don't think anything really kind of, I mean, Godzilla took me by surprise. I never saw Oppenheimer, but I heard that was good.
Hey, it was too long. It was too long for me. I'm sorry. Like,
it's fine.
It was
I'll watch it
It was
eventually.
an okay movie.
Yeah. Oh, worst movie of the year. How could I forget? Oh, God. Rebel Moon. Oh my God, it was terrible. I mean, like,
Zack Snyder, what do you expect?
Truly terrible. Like, one of those things I like, oh my God. And then to hear there's going to be like a 4-hour cut. And now I'm like, oh, great.
Release the Snyder cut.
Well, it's just all, it's all fake. It's all fake. Netflix chose to do this. And now I'm like, oh God, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to play into it like the putz I am. So
I don't even know what that one's about. I have heard it was terrible though.
Oh,
dude, that's some memes. My movie reviewers now are memes, and that is how I heard it was bad.
Dude, 2 hours of nothing happening. Like, it's all meant to like set up characters and get like the we're gonna get everything set up so they can do like the Seven Samurai Magnificent Seven thing. But there are plot holes stacked on plot holes. It is so poorly put together and executed. Like, there's this one scene where the Anthony Hopkins voiced droid, which is cool, is talking to a girl, right? Oh, yeah. So get this. The robot gets covered in mud and they tell him to go to the river and clean himself off. And I'm like, robots and water don't mix. Like, what are you doing?
You know, most robots are watertight.
They should be.
Yeah, well, they are.
Yeah. So also then like he just sits by the river and I'm like, yes, he must be exhausted. Like, he's a robot. And so this girl comes and talks to him and they're standing right next to each other. and he's in focus and she is not. It is bonkers. I hated it. It was terrible. Nothing happens. They don't even really introduce the characters well. Like, it's just terrible. I hated it so much. Don't watch it.
Okay.
Truly
Weird.
terrible. All right.
So, one second. So I mentioned 2 movies that I kind of like, Spider-Verse and Guardians, but I didn't mention the movie that I actually really liked this year. It's a movie called Slaughterhouse.
I watched that.
That is the standout movie to me of 2023. I loved this movie beyond comprehension. And I am serious. If Casey gets to say he loved Meg 2, I absolutely get to recommend Slaughterhouse.
Wait. You're not saying slaughter. You're saying
Sloth.
Yes, exactly. Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Please go on. Where
It
can
is
this
a
be
movie
watched?
about a sloth that is, and it gets adopted by a sorority.
Yes, it does.
And the sorority ends up having, it's like a sorority slasher movie, but with a sloth. It is absolutely amazing. Get through the first 15 minutes.
Yes.
And
I turned it off
as long as you
yeah.
whistle, you will laugh.
Yeah, if you can get through the first 15, it really takes off. I mean, the beginning.
And I like the first 15 minutes. Eric's just a killjoy.
No, they're really.
Wait,
it was
so
tough.
where can you watch it? Where can you watch it?
I watched it on Hulu.
Hulu? All right.
It's a Hulu original film.
I have a quick addendum to the Slaughterhouse. I'm constantly going into work and recommending movies, shows, like high quality things. I cast pearls before swine to my coworkers. What did they all watch? Slaughterhouse. What do they all hold against me? Slaughterhouse, even though they loved it. No, they loved it, but they're like, they were just like, I can't believe I watched a movie called Slaughterhouse based on your recommendation. I'm like, of all my recommendations, Slaughterhouse? Come on. Dude, Casey, it's so good. I don't even want to tell you any of the gags because
I don't want to say anything. I'm just saying it's the sloth is the murderer.
Yeah, once you get through the first,
I will watch it.
Dude, they do so many gags and so many of them land.
I'm just telling you, man, sloths. You think they're slow,
but what if they're fast?
They might be fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, good recommendation. You're gonna love it, Casey. All right,
I will definitely watch that.
If anything else pops in your mind movie-wise while we're talking, just feel free to.
I'm good. I just wanted to mention my standout because that is
pretty good.
The one movie where if you're like, what happened in 2023? And I can list the movies that I thought were good, but the movie that shouldn't be good, it's
Slaughterhouse.
I can't wait to watch that. I'm excited.
All right. I know Casey had some, he wanted to talk about TV this year as well. He had some opinions on television.
I have some strong opinions on television. And since we've actually been talking a little bit more, I've had a few other things that have kind of popped in a little bit more into the disappointment category that I'd like to touch upon.
Go ahead.
I would like to shine light on 2 actual favorites that I am really amped about, and I'm very happy came back, and I feel like one came back and one started. Now, I'm going to start with the one that came back, and I feel like he came back strong, and I was really excited. I've been looking forward to this because season 1 ended on a fucking epic note, and that's Invincible. I am so excited that Invincible came back. I have absolutely loved season 2 because there's just this egotistical just feel amongst so many of like the superheroes, and then like on like the other side of them you see such like utter defeat and like anguish, and I just love how it's handled. I love the shifting of the dynamics. I love where they're picking up from season 1, and I just love all the little things that they've been doing the entire season, where it's just like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, wait, that's right, that did happen in season 1. Oh my god, wait a minute, how are they? Because like one of the key things for me too is like I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is great, and then it's just like total spoiler, sorry, really quick, we're gonna obviously have to get into that really fast. But I really loved, generally speaking, for spoilers, when Invincible's mom is back at the base and is just like, Donald and everything, and then Donald's like, why was she so like shocked to see me, like what like, and he's gaining the suspicion now, because then I had to do a double take and I was like, oh, that's right, he died.
Yeah.
Like he was gone and everything. And then I was just like, oh my god, that was like really well crafted. And that was the one thing I really wanted to get on. There's a lot of other things, but like that moment for me where I just was like, this is fantastic. So I'm really happy for that to come back, and I'm really excited for more Invincible, and I can't wait. The other show I'm excited that started, and the reason I'm so excited about this, a big thing is I really got a lot of this from you, Derek. Big part of our family growing up and everything, but you have always, and we have a shout out down in the lower corner of his screen right there
Here
is
comes
the
Monarch.
King of Monster
Oh.
himself. I am loving Monarch because we get more about Godzilla. We're getting more things. I let them go be as crazy as they want. I don't care. Godzilla is getting his time in the sun again. He is reigning as king in cinema. We're getting television. We're getting film. Like, let's go. I know comics have been booming again recently. I am so happy that Godzilla is having such a strong impact right now because I remember it was so hard. Like, there were days, like, we love Dylan, but there was a special airing of a Godzilla movie back when we were kids. And it was like the second day Dylan had his license. And I'm sorry, Dylan, we do love you, but Dylan was driving too fast.
Oh, when he went off the road? Yeah.
But you and I were sitting there glued to the TV like this Godzilla movie. We've been waiting for this one. This is like one of like the first times we're gonna be able to view it in America, like on like TMC or something like that.
I don't remember.
We were wicked. I'll never forget because we were so excited. And then Dad walked in and goes, "Your brother drove into a ditch. We gotta get him out." And you and I were like, "Oh, come on!" And like and he was just like, Dylan was so mad because he was like, "I'm glad you guys are so concerned about me." And we're like, "Yeah, well, Godzilla movie, man." But no, Monarch. It's weird. It's crazy. You guys, I could tell you guys are probably not enjoying it. But I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving seeing the monsters. I can't wait to see what they're doing with it. It's absolutely wild. It's what I came here for. It's what I signed up for. And just the fact that like it's coming out right as like Godzilla -1's coming out, and I know there's just so much attention to Godzilla right now. There's just so much attention, and I love it. So that's why I'm doing Monarch as like one of my highlight shows of the year. But then two very strong disappointments. Very, very let down. These are I liked the jokes that were attempted, but when it came to the canon story, I feel like it really let itself down, and I'm happy to know that the next season coming up is the last one, but this year's season of What We Do in the Shadows really let me down. It really disappointed me. It delivered what they thought was a satisfactory decision on something that has been the entire show, and they chose to fucking back out and retcon it in a way and be like everything's forgiven, and it's like, no, you can't give us 5 years of this is going to be intense, this is serious, this means fucking death, and then just, yeah, you might be able to chalk it up to, oh, that's good character development. You can't have someone, I'm sorry, but like if you have someone established for fucking thousands of years as one person, no, there was a cop out in the writing, it was bad acting. Well, all right, actually no, it wasn't bad acting, sorry, it was bad writing. It was all bad writing.
Interesting.
Because if you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, at this point, yay or nay, spoilers are going to happen at this point, because here's one of my biggest issues, okay? Here's one of the biggest problems is the vampires did such a good job. If you haven't seen it, please just stop now. 3, 2, 1. Their whole thing is they're in hiding. They're trying to keep themselves safe and protected. They end up on the fucking local news?
As vampires?
As vampires! And you know how they fucking get past it and try to retcon back to everything?
Glamour them?
They glamour them over TV. It shouldn't fucking work like that. That's not how it fucking works. Nope. I'm sorry. Nope. And here's the thing that really pissed me off the most. And if that wasn't a spoiler enough for you, this is definitely going to be like the hammer drop for the spoilers. For me, the thing that really pissed me off the most is the entire show is built off Guillermo wanting to become a vampire and have Nandor turn him.
Right, but
That's
isn't
the
he a
whole
Van
thing.
Helsing?
He's a Van Helsing, yes.
Right.
But here, so you want to know what happens? Here's what happens.
He becomes
This
a
is what-
werewolf.
No, I wish. That would have been better.
Aw.
He has remember his buddy Derek who gets turned into the vampire?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've only seen the first
It's
2
stupid.
seasons.
It's not. Well, so he has his friend turn him, and then after he gets turned, there's like a problem. But the whole thing is like it's a disgrace to Nandor. Like the whole thing is everyone's like you're gonna have like Nandor's gonna kill you, and then Nandor has to kill himself. And like Nandor's been like super serious about all this stuff, and he's like blah 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 blah. And then they can try to pitch it as character development, but they find a way out of it where they kill Derek. It undoes the vampirism turn to Guillermo. And then they have an old person from like season like 2 or 3, I think it is, come back that they're like, oh, this person who we haven't talked to in a while knows necromancy. And then they bring Derek back to life. So now it's like, oh, you had your friend turn you. Oh, you betrayed your master. Everyone feels guilty. How would you feel if we killed your friend? Oh, now your best friend that you ever had is fucking dead. Oh, we're going to bring him back now. And now he's a mentally challenged zombie vampire
Oh my
and
goodness.
goes and lives in a basement.
Oh,
And now
no.
we're going into the last season of the show, and it's like Guillermo, the one thing he wanted, he betrayed his own master to get, and they monked it. I'm sorry, they monked it. And it's like, doesn't even matter what they do in season 6 now because they had it. They had the arc. They satisfied it. They ruined it, and it was terrible. And I'm sorry. And now the
Fair
last
enough.
thing I'm just gonna mention about disappointments for shows for 2023. I feel like Derek, you can probably talk about it more than I will because if I do, I could take up like 5 hours talking about how bad it was.
I think I know what this one is. Yeah.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2.
Yes.
What the actual fuck was this season about other than Gojo is super fucking powerful? Like, that is the only thing I took away from this season.
Well, he's trapped
Everything-
now. He's trapped in that. He's sealed. Remember? And now.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get that. But here's the thing: is like season 1 was like, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, look at us. We're all growing. We're getting powerful.
Yeah, they messed up
this is
Toto
great.
pretty bad.
And Toto was a fucking. And I'm sorry, but Mahito or whatever his name is, he's not strong. Like, I'm sorry. I will say the only thing I liked in the fight was when they went to do it and Toto high-fived him to
Yes.
switch it in, and Mahito and he was like, what the fuck? And then Toto looked at his hand and he goes, wow, I'm lucky that's all I got.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was awesome. But they made Toto look like they took everything great about season 1. They took all the people who looked like badasses in season 1 and made them all just look like pussies in this season. I don't know what's coming down.
Yeah, they've killed,
still a
like,
sucker.
All the tertiary characters are dead. It's like. It's so stupid. And then especially with that last episode where we get like a text crawl that says, oh, by the way, anybody who goes to try it, like Jujutsu Kaisen Society is all like, they're like, oh, by the Gojo must have been part of it. Like, you know,
Are you
no.
fucking kidding me?
no. So like, no, he was not part of the Shibuya incident or whatever. So it's just terrible.
No.
I don't understand half the stuff that they say this season because they're just saying nonsense. It's like words.
Oh, my death womb calendar.
And it's like, what? It's like, I watch a lot of anime. This was by far one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I actually only watched it just to see like how much worse it could get because it's insanely terrible. Like
It was
is
so bad.
no character developments, no big character moments. It's just people punching
Nope.
each other. And it's like, and it's not
Nope.
even like clever or fun. It just truly ruined all the goodwill from season 1 and from the movie.
Yeah.
And I liked the movie.
Now, here's the other thing I just want to highlight on what really pissed me off with the final episode, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, this is fantastic! This was really well done." Now, I do not like when something is shown to us being like, "It is done, it is dealt with, it is finished."
Are you talking about Yuta or whatever?
Yuta
Yeah.
showing up at the end and having the power of Rika still.
Yeah.
Now, here's why I don't like that. If they had ended the movie with like a hint maybe a hint, like if they like he's walking away and like you heard her laugh or something or anything. If they had
Right.
hinted at anything other than she's gone.
It'll be
She's
like
100.
they'll come up with some BS reason, like it's like an
he mastered it somehow,
or it's like an echo of her soul or something like that. Like she's never truly gone.
And I don't like
terrible.
that because I just it really defeated a lot for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see Yuta back. That was cool. It just really pissed me off that I know they're trying to maybe create some kind of narrative arc and give us something, but I just feel like they didn't do it the right way, and it just
fair enough. No, I agree. I didn't like season 2. Like I said, boring. They kept just saying things, that nonsense things, and they just kept going with it.
The overarching narrator. What was up with her? Why was she over like explaining it? And
I don't care. The show's dead.
But here's
terrible.
the problem. I'm a sucker. I'm still gonna watch season 3.
Yeah, I probably will too, but I won't like it.
Bitch about it too.
Yeah. How about you? Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Sorry, that's me. So, Plummer, what about you, my friend? TV this year for you?
Oh wow, you guys done talking about anime?
I could talk more.
So my favorite TV show of the year was Blue Haired Samurai.
Yeah, that was good.
No, I hate it.
I
kind of liked it, but
I liked it.
Okay, I was just kidding because we were talking about anime. No, yeah. I'm not gonna go into that show because I give it a 7. There were a few good shows this year. Twisted Metal, I didn't watch until a month ago. Loved it. I loved the acting from Anthony Mackie. And like he played his character so well of just like kind of the
he's like a bumbling everyman. Yeah, he is. He's
doofus, and he was crazy, but that's because he'd been living in this world. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I give it a thumbs up. Recommend it.
Oh, dude, you at least got to mention how great Sweet Tooth is. Come on.
The visual actor that played him,
Samoa Joe,
insanely good.
Wasn't he amazing?
That was voiced by
Will Arnett,
correct?
Oh yeah, the voice acting was fantastic. But like, there were moments where he was physically acting, and I was just like, oh my god, like the turns that this guy is doing, the intensity of his eyes, like, love it, love every moment of it. But
so good.
But no, my favorite show this year, my favorite series show this year, and if I kept looking through shows, I might change my mind. But Silo. I loved Silo.
I only watched
an adaptation of the book Wool.
Yep.
By Sapphire. And
that's a very good joke.
It's an adaptation of the novel of the Wool series by Howie Hewstrom or something. I don't know.
Hugh Grant.
Yes. Apparently, after he released his book and got famous, he dumped his wife and married an Instagram thought.
Jesus.
But no, so Silo is the nice thing is
maybe it was Hugh Grant.
as a fan of the book, there were actually a lot of things I enjoyed seeing, and I was like, but I don't even think it was really fan service. Because if you're watching the show, I can't say this for sure, but I think you're gonna get everything out of it that I got out of it. I think all the little moments, it's a slow burn up until the end, and the end is the end of book 1, which is fantastic.
Interesting.
Everyone loves Wool that's read it that I know. I don't have any friend who's been like, I don't like Wool. So I do think I just can't really recommend that TV series highly enough if you're in for a slow burn. Kind of sci-fi, kind of dystopian. You hear those words and you might drone out, like slow burn, sci-fi, dystopian. But I highly recommend it just because it's a puzzle that builds itself as you watch. Watch it.
I watched the first 2 episodes with you.
I know. Watch the rest, you bitch.
I have to go out into the living room in order to watch Apple because I haven't put on any of my devices in here, which I should.
Sounds like a personal problem there.
It is, yeah. It's a me problem.
I really do want to echo really quick just how good of a show that is and how much I also really thoroughly enjoyed that one. I will say this, with how much I've been watching for TV this year, I have forgotten a lot about what I've watched, and I forgot that is one I did watch.
Yeah.
But that was really good, and what I think I really loved about that show too, taking a look at it, is hearing now that like a Fallout show is in production. I feel like it's just I don't need a Fallout TV show because like
I don't know. Walton Goggins plays the ghoul. That's pretty
Well, the
neat.
problem is Amazon is
I'm too
making it.
serious.
Yeah, Walton Goggins.
All
Yeah, the
right,
problem
well,
is Amazon.
I'm
No,
out here.
Plummer's right. The plumber the plumber is right.
Plummer is right.
No,
The system is down.
the system is down. I don't have any faith in like Amazon Studios. I think they got lucky with like Reacher, and I think, or like
And
the
the
term
boys.
and the boys to an extent. I like the boys, but it's not as, I don't know. It's okay, you know, like but it's, I wouldn't call it like I don't know.
It is one of the most It has one of the most rabid fan bases.
That's
of any
true.
show. The Wheel of Time doesn't, even though the Wheel of Time has a rabid fan base, the Wheel of Time show does not.
No,
The Rings of Powers, even though Lord of the Rings has a rabid fan base,
I
Rings of
couldn't
Power
get
does
into
not.
that show.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the Rings of
do you know the
Power.
producers?
Was that also this year? I'm sorry. Was that a 2023 thing or is that like?
I think
I
it
don't
was
know.
that
'cause I turned it
2022?
off.
and it was
Right?
end of last year, finished this year, as I recall.
Okay.
Do you know the
alright.
one of the executive producers on Rings of Power is married to a producer on Wheel of Time?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, interesting.
That's what the problem is.
I don't know.
That's not the problem.
I just think it's the problem is it's bad writing.
The writing and the showrunner.
Well,
and
Brand-
the studio interference probably.
How bad do you have
That's
to
fair.
be to get Brandon Sanderson to comment on it? You know, like
That's fair. The Brando Sando.
I mean, no, seriously, Brandon Sanderson actually said, I told them not to do this and they didn't listen to me. Why won't they? And you know, this guy, he's the nicest guy out there. He doesn't like to criticize anything.
The problem, like my biggest problem with the show is the channeling. Like it should be like it is in the books, where it's basically like fencing between, like your weaves are kind of fencing, parrying,
Yeah.
cutting each other off.
Mhm.
And this show, they're just like, you know what people like?
Lasers.
CGI lasers.
It's nothing like that. It is so accurately described in the book as like cutting and weaving and binding, you know, again,
and
all
trying to slip through the cracks.
Yeah,
like,
No.
I mean, because it plays with the whole like wheel of time, you know, like not like a wheel, but like a loom, like a fabric thing. So like, again, to describe magic in the terms of like sewing and binding, again, fabric based stuff.
Yeah.
It's very, very purposeful the way magic is described in that. And
Okay, well, you know what? I think I accidentally just wove myself into the show I hated most this year.
I when I heard
I wasn't expecting to. But here we go.
I did not see it and I won't see it. Shows, I did not watch as much TV this year. If I'm being honest, I watched mostly anime. So I guess my favorite show of the year will probably be the live action One Piece.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll talk about that. You start talking anime and I toned out, but
Yeah.
One Piece. Hello.
So I loved One Piece. I thought it was charming and like outrageous, and they did a really good job with the cast, and I found it to be very likable. For it to be like so just kind of a joyful show, you know what I mean? Like there's some dark moments to it, of course, but like you never lose the feeling like this group of people could overcome the obstacle, and you're rooting for them. And they developed the characters so well in such a short amount of time. It's really quite impressive. And because I hate flashbacks, I think they're stupid in most cases, but the way they use flashbacks in this show is appropriate. And because a lot of times when you do flashbacks in shows, they're doing it to show like, oh yeah, they're learning the same thing in parallel. Like they're not flashing back to show you and to inform you as to why this person is making the decision in this moment. They usually use flashbacks to be like, oh, they're learning, like here's them learning the lesson, but it's a lesson they already should have learned based on the flashback. And in One Piece, the flashbacks are to inform why a character has made a decision.
That's great. See, that's exactly how it should be done.
Plus
that's fantastic.
Plus the action sequences are truly, truly well done. Like they are shot well, and you can see everything that happens. It's incredible.
That's fantastic. I'm really excited. That's an anime I'm going to actually start. I did watch like the first like 30 odd episodes or so far of the anime, and I don't know if I want to keep it going because I heard that they're going to be doing a reboot of the anime now or
I don't
something
know.
as well.
It's you know what? One Piece is 1,000
But
episodes. I'm not watching 1,000 episodes. I mean, I
no,
might
so
at
that's
some
the
point.
thing. I actually I went to look up because when I went to watch Naruto, I had heard that there was like a good canon filler guide that you can follow. And when I went to look up like a canon slash like filler guide for One Piece, everyone was like, even the filler connects to canon and is important. So just watch it all. And I'm like,
But then for my least favorite show, God, I don't even know. I did not really. I kind of avoided all the shows that I thought would disappoint me. So like I didn't watch any new Star Wars. I haven't watched Wheel of Time or any of that stuff. I think maybe Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 for my worst, just because I did watch it and I don't like it. It's just not
so bad.
Not
It was
for me.
so bad.
But the live action One Piece, if you haven't seen it, I really liked it. So
Did either of you two watch Fall of the House of Usher?
oh, I watched 4 episodes and then turned it off. I did not care for it.
I saw it. It was pretty meh.
I was so disappointed with that one. Like I thought there were like a few good like jump scares they had real quick and stuff that were really well done, but
it's not for me. I did watch Blue Eyed Samurai though because Plummer had recommended it to me.
No, I watched it because you talked about it.
I thought you recommended it to me.
No, you were like, I'm watching Blue Eyed Samurai right now, so I turned it on.
Oh God. Uh-oh. I wasn't even drinking while watching that show either. Like, so
cut to a flashback. It's the scene from the bar where they go like, scene missing, drink, party, scene missing, the end.
I kind of liked it. All right. How about we shift focus to something that we all love, video games.
I think you guys have been very generous with letting me start on this one. I think for this one, let's let Plummer start.
Sure.
I got nothing. It hasn't been a year of video games for me.
No, really?
Oh, get him out of here.
His favorite video game is the Meg 2. No.
VR.
Whoa, yeah.
Whoa.
You didn't play many games this year, huh, Plummer?
No.
Wild. I actually think I probably
That's
played
fair.
more games this year than I normally do.
I think I have played some specific games more this year than if not anything else. Really quick then,
This is the first year I used my computer for gaming, really.
I'm actually a little taken back by Plummer's comment by not having too many games under his belt this year.
It's okay. Well, he's played a few. He's played a few. Like you were just telling me.
That's why I'm saying though, because like
it's okay. It's nothing stands out. I mean, that's kind of like how I felt with like movies and TV this year. I don't think anything truly is going to stand out for me in the long run. I think it was a very middling year in general. But for games, I thought it was a pretty good year.
I thought it was a great year too.
Just a couple good ones. Like I'll start us off real quick. Then I think probably my game of the year is going to be Baldur's Gate 3.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
I love it.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Fucking love it. Absolutely fantastic.
How many different characters have we made just to tool around with and see like how situations develop? It's incredible. The amount of work that they did.
Options.
Yeah. The amount of work and customization and the fact that like nothing is ever really the same. Like, I mean, the story beats are there, but like the directions in which they can go, incredible game. I can't say enough about it. I absolutely love it. It looks great. It plays great. I mean, you can do some really creative and fun stuff. I highly recommend it.
And there's so many different builds that you can do. There's so much different gear you can find. There's so many hidden things in the world itself. I mean, I just want to say like just a shout out to that game for one thing that has been just like a real like two unique aspects of playing the game. The Dark Urge as a character.
I still need to make
playing
one.
it where you satisfy the Dark Urge, but then like a really fun and challenging run, which is really cool, is where you resist the Dark Urge. Now, I would like to point out the one where you give in to the Dark Urge. 46 hours in, I fucked up my run because for one fleeting moment I was like, "Aw," and like my heart took over, not the character narrative arc, but I was like, I can't click this button with good conscience. down, ding. You are now locked out of this until the end of Act 3.
I don't like.
Oh.
I don't like hearing that.
Nope. And honestly, I see now why they say like everything I've read about when you want to play the Dark Urge is like if you're gonna do the Dirge run, you're gonna run the Dirge. You need to commit to it fully and just have no reservations with it. But there was one moment where I was just like, I literally sat there for like 10 minutes and I was like, I don't think I can do this. I really just like I even looked over at Kate and I was like, and she was just like, it's your call. And I was like, yeah, but like, she's like,
Yeah.
you're the one that has to click the button. And I was like, ah.
Fair.
And I'll be honest too. It's tough, but the game is so great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful game. Easily my game of the year. My least favorite game of the year was Spider-Man 2. I didn't like it. There was I had so many problems with that game. Gameplay wise, it's great. The story itself is not that good. Character development in it, the characters don't do things the way they should, and it is kind of like the whole game is just setting it up for Peter Parker to give Miles Morales like the go ahead to be Spider-Man, except that is how the Miles Morales DLC to the last Spider-Man game starts. So you're ending your sequel, which the DLC began with. So you've gone backwards.
So we come from Plymouth.
But it's like, it's frustrating.
At Plymouth?
Yeah, but it's frustrating too because Peter is just like, well, they don't even need me. They have you, Miles. And I'm like, Peter, whatever happened to great power and great responsibility? I guess like, like he doesn't do Spider-Man things in the game. It's frustrating. So I didn't care for that. And there's just like a whole bunch of weird sequences in it. Like you got to play as like this, deaf girl for a period of time. And it's like, I'm like, why am I graffitiing the buildings as like a non-superhero? Like the Mary Jane stuff, at least, like whatever.
Like if they tied that into maybe like being like Echo or something somehow.
No, you're just playing as
they had maybe, but
it's just Miles' girlfriend. You're just playing as Miles' girlfriend, and she's going around graffiti tagging things because she's an artist. So and weird. They make you play as her, and it's terrible. But yeah, the less said about Spider-Man, I just did not care for it.
Really quick, one thing I'd like to speak about, like focusing more about like a positive game, shifting back really quick because we both kind of gushed about Baldur's Gate, and then one other game I really want to give a shout out to. I believe it had come out. Actually, wait, let me make sure it came out this year really fast before I make a fool of myself.
No, just go for it. Just say it.
No, I can't do it because if I'm wrong, yes, I'm right. Ember Knights. I had to make sure. Ember Knights has been such a great game. Like
it has been a lot of fun.
Like I absolutely love the co-op sincerity with that game, and I know there are meme builds that we can run and do that, but like when we want to sit down and have a good session with that game, it has been such a delight to be able to sit down and play that game. I'm excited to see like where the developers go with it, what else they're gonna add to it. I think there's a potential too that like give us a few more weapons. Like
we'll see.
They're creative, but it's good.
They need to patch it because as it is now, it keeps glitching out, and like Dylan and I have had some pretty successful runs that have just ended because like one time like none of my weapons were spawning, none of the enemies were spawning on my screen, only Dylan's. So they need to, before they expand, they should probably fix some of these game breaking bugs. So that's
fair.
But it is a good game, and I really like it. Let's see, Plummer. Are there anything like we covered games, movies, TV? Are there any other things this year, Plummer, that are stand out to you for good or bad reasons?
You're still alive. No, I'm
good. How about you, Casey? Anything else this year that kind of stands out for you?
Game-wise, really quick, just a disappointment that is something I was really looking forward to. I gotta say, I was really disappointed with Diablo 4.
That was a little disappointing too.
There was a lot of hype with that. The other thing too that I'm a little, I don't know. Like I've heard a lot of bad things about. I'm probably gonna just pass on it in general. There's a lot of hype with Starfield.
I didn't play it.
I probably won't play it. I've heard enough about it where I just seem disinterested at this point. Special shout out to a game that has been a surprise hit so far, and I can't wait to give more time to it, which I need to give the Switch a little bit more love. Super Mario Brothers Wonder has been fantastic so far. It's just different. You know? Like it's just a different Mario game. You know?
Plummer sent me a text message about it actually the other day. He was playing it.
Well, Plummer, what do you think of it so far?
Oh, it's fun. I got it from my nephew for Christmas, and we played it a couple times on the TV split screen, and I barely raged at all. So.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's nice. And then just one other thing I just want to give a quick shout out to is really fast is just something that I don't know how often you talk about it on your Slender 5 channel.
Oh, maybe you should watch it then sometimes.
Yeah, if I had time.
You would know if you watched. Oh, you have enough time to watch The Meg 2, but you don't got enough time to support your brother in his lackluster creative endeavors.
No, I don't.
And not just me. Plummer's on it.
Because the person I went to see The Meg 2 with, both our girlfriends were on the trip together somewhere. So I was like, let's go see this movie. No, I don't. I actually, to be honest with you, I know you do a lot of trailer stuff, video game stuff, like you don't really get into music a lot. I noticed, which is fair. That's a slippery slope, especially on the YouTubes.
Right, because you can't play any of the music, so it's like
exactly.
Oh, I love this song. All right, and we're back.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. It's like
I just want to give a shout out, Insomnium.
Oh.
Yeah, you know where I'm going.
Yeah, the new album, Anno
1696.
1696. Yes, that's a great album, and we'll be seeing them in April.
Bro, yeah,
I know it's gonna be sweet.
I just that album, like for a year of music, that album just really stood out. And,
yeah, it's a fantastic album. It really is.
I've listened to it. I ended up listening to it so much that I actually on Spotify, when I got the year in review, it was like, this is like how much you've listened to stuff. There's a certain message where it's like, if you've listened to a band so much, they're like, hey, you're within like a top percentile, like you get this message from the band. I got one from Insomnia, but I was like, yeah, I was like, this is awesome. Like, just general message,
yeah, it's not personalized though.
No, and that was really cool where they were just like, we got big things coming up in 2024. And I was like, yes.
Oh my God. You know what I just remembered?
Yes.
Picard Season 3 came out this year. I loved it.
And that's where we'll end the show. It's been a Under 5 production. Thank you for coming tonight. We'll see everyone next year in 2024. Oh, you can still see me in my window. Shit.
That's where I'm editing it.